to the 12 Days of Christmas, and in this episode we are going to be reviewing the team that finished in third place, which was Ferrari. Now, Ferrari were coming into 2016 off the back of a very positive 2015 season. The only team that actually challenged the champions that season, Mercedes. So coming into pre-season, they were very, very strong. They were actually beating the Mercedes on pure pace in pre-season. So the Ferraris had a very, very positive pre-season, topping loads of practice times, topping loads of timing sheets and everything. But from both drivers, Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel, very strong lineup this season. Hopefully going for some more race wins and actually putting their foot in the door to win finally win another Constructors' Championship, the first one since 2008. So they're headed into Australia, and what a start they got. If you remember, guys, off the line, I remember this very, very well. Off the line, both Raikkonen and Vettel overtook both Mercedes about the first three corners, and I was thinking, yes, here we go, guys. This is Ferrari's year. It has to be from progress from 2015 into 2016. And Sebastian Vettel did the best possible result, and he got a third place. Very positive result there. Unfortunately, retirement for Kimi Raikkonen. Very bad result there. And I think people at this point were actually thinking, Kimi Raikkonen, faults, bad results. It's going to be one of the seasons again, isn't it? Because I think he was 36 at this point. He was getting on. There was always speculation. Should he leave? Should he not? And I think at this point they were like, yeah, let's just kick him out. But jumping to the next race in Bahrain, it was pretty much like vice versa, because Sebastian Vettel had a dramatic engine failure going to the grid. If you remember that, I remember smoke pouring out of his engine whilst watching it on television. Very surprising as well. But it's not like Ferrari to have an engine, not like Ferrari to have a problem like that anyway, especially from Sebastian Vettel. So I was surprised at that, but that's just how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. And Kimi Raikkonen got a P2, so even better result there for Ferrari. Very good result. It was just that reliability on both sides of the garage had affected their results in the first two races. If the reliability didn't hinder their results in both Raikkonen and Vettel, where would they be now at the first two races? In China, a P2 for Sebastian Vettel, absolutely tremendous. P5 for Kimi Raikkonen, very good result there. Another podium there for Ferrari. Now, the Russian Grand Prix. We all remember what happened with Sebastian Vettel at the Russian Grand Prix. Came in like a torpedo is the biggest quote, not from LC, from Daniel Kvyat, when the drivers both had big exchange at the end of the race. Very heated moments there, and then obviously people could argue that is what cost Daniel Kvyat's seat at Red Bull. So not very low times there for Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari, but on the other side of the garage, it was very good times there. A P3 for Kimi Raikkonen, another podium, and at this stage in the season, he was up to P3 in the constructors' title. Not in the constructors' title, sorry, in the drivers' championship. Very good result there, and I think people were actually surprised at Kimi Raikkonen's pace, and a lot of criticism people were actually like, let's back off from Kimi Raikkonen a bit. He was showing them critics wrong. He was proving people, I have still got it. I am still the flying fin. I have still proved I have got my cool. So very, very good there from him. P3 again for Sebastian Vettel following that race. Brilliant way to respond that at the Spanish Grand Prix. P2 for Kimi Raikkonen, absolutely tremendous. Double podium there for Ferrari. Both retirements from Mercedes as a very famous moment. Obviously the race win going to Max Verstappen. So Ferrari this season, the pace and the expectation, it was there. It was a very high point of the season for Ferrari. As a McLaren fan, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Ferrari because of the history and everything like that. And I came into Formula 1 knowing Ferrari. I knew Ferrari a lot. So again, I have a soft spot for them, and I was very happy that they were doing quite well off the back of a very good 2015 season. So going into the Canadian Grand Prix, P2 for Sebastian Vettel, P6 for Kimi Raikkonen, and another P2 at the European Grand Prix for Sebastian Vettel. P4 for Kimi Raikkonen. A retirement followed for Sebastian Vettel off the back of two podium positions at the Austrian Grand Prix. P3 for Kimi Raikkonen. P9 for Sebastian Vettel at the British Grand Prix. To be fair, very wet conditions. Me and LC did see him slip off going into the first corner a lot of the times. He did about 2 or 3 times. He had no control of that car whatsoever. Very poor weekend there for Sebastian Vettel. P5 for Kimi Raikkonen. The Hungarian Grand Prix, P4 for Sebastian Vettel, P6 for Kimi Raikkonen, and at the German Grand Prix, P5 for Sebastian Vettel at his home Grand Prix, and P6 for Kimi Raikkonen. So the first thing you're probably thinking to yourself coming into the first half of the season, right, positive results there for Ferrari, but where's the race win? What is going on? Now, We know this thing, and Ferrari know this thing called gremlins, which have been affected and playing about in their car, causing havoc. And naughty gremlins, you can't be doing that. What's wrong with you? Leave Ferrari alone. Now, to be fair, if it's not one, it's the other. Like, if it's not Sebastian Vettel, it's Kim Raikkonen. If it's not Kim Raikkonen, it's Sebastian Vettel. And despite all them positive results, there was still a bit of tension going around in the Ferrari paddock, the Ferrari side of the garage, because it was like the race win just wasn't there for Ferrari, and everyone was like very surprised, because it was like, well, you know, when both Mercedes took each other off in Spain, Max Verstappen won the race. Both Ferraris chased that guy down and they didn't catch him. So everyone was like, right, okay, that was a one-off, but we'll let that go. P2, P3, P2, and P3 followed after them several races. So it was like, why not P1? What's Ferrari missing? So, and again, it was bad, and a lot of people were going against Ferrari because Ferrari strategy team, because it seems to be every time that they'll pit for one set of tyres and be like, oh, we should have pitted on that set of tyres because they were actually working better than the previous set of tyres that we actually used, and it was just confusing people. They were like, well, hang on, you were doing well. You were doing well on that set of tyres, but Mercedes just pitted for the softs. You went in for the you went in for the mediums, but you should have done that. You should like pretty much be matching Mercedes. So the strategy team was just all over the place. Me and Elsie did catch on this a lot in 2016. We did point the finger at them and go, right, this is where Ferrari is losing out. If they can sort their strategy out, they can win a race and they can actually challenge the Mercedes. But at this stage, Mercedes they were clear. The only guy that beat them was Max Verstappen. So every time it had been Mercedes. Ferrari never even had a proper good sniff other than the Spanish Grand Prix. So LC, Ferrari. Now we know how good this team can be. We know how good the drivers can be and are. But why do you think Ferrari hadn't won a race at the first half of the season? Despite all their good results last season, won 3 races in 2015. 2016 they hadn't won a race. Why do you think?
To be honest, it's strange. It is strange, JT. Now, obviously, as you remember, it kind of started. This kind of 3 races kind of started obviously in 2014. 3 wins by Red Bull, obviously dominated by Mercedes. Obviously the other races. Then in 2015 we had 3 races by Ferrari, dominated by Mercedes. Obviously all around. Coming into 2016. Dominated by Mercedes, bar 1, which was Red Bull. Now, could Red Bull be this team? Now, Ferrari's wins, obviously they'd won 2 last year at this point. Obviously this time, 2015, obviously this time was last year, because technically we're talking out of the summer break. It was obviously 2 wins to Ferrari, 2 wins to Sebastian Vettel, so I'm not sure. But obviously he was incredibly close, JT. Obviously, doing some unbelievable finishes. Obviously he was behind Mercedes. He was obviously behind Mercedes drivers in his finishes. So, whereas obviously Kimi Raikkonen was behind Max Verstappen, and obviously so was Sebastian Vettel in Spain. But apart from that, Sebastian Vettel's 3 second places were all behind Mercedes drivers. So obviously I think he is doing like the best he can out of that car and the best he can do as a driver. But obviously Mercedes in a league of their own, and it just really is hard. Obviously I think at the end of the day, I think Ferrari, even though we're saying that it was very nearly and they're not doing what they need to do, as I say, at the moment they're 2 races down. But Mercedes were obviously on a league of their own and were incredibly hard to catch, because obviously Sebastian Vettel, as I say, those kind of 3 second places, his drive in those could have turned into 3 first places. So overall, I think the first part of the season was incredibly strong by them. But the bigger thing though is what JT said at the start of the episode. Obviously kicked off in Bahrain as well, kicked off in Australia with Kimi Raikkonen, then in Bahrain, and then a few other times in the season, 3 more times, or 5 times in the first half of the season. Reliability, car reliability. Now again, what is going on there? Obviously you have 2 experienced drivers, 2 drivers who aren't going to crash, they aren't going to cause problems with each other. There wasn't even a problem in China. Obviously, after Sebastian Vettel did the very famous, as JD said, or as my famous quote is, I'm not taking it, which is obviously you came in like a torpedo. So even then there wasn't any problems. Yeah. But obviously car reliability was an unbelievable problem. Obviously you had 4 retirements out of the race during the race, but then you had obviously the DNS, the car failure, the engine blowout, and that really was it, as JD said when he saw it on the telly. That was what?
This early for Ferrari? It was weird. It was weird.
Is it this time already? It's like unbelievable.
It's only race 2.
it really well. It's race 2. What time is it? Is it race 2? In the olden days, it would be on. It wouldn't even happen in the whole season. So the time of it happening probably would be in the winter when no one's at the factory in Marinello and they're just randomly blowing up on December 29th or something like that. So it was just unbelievable when that happened. So car reliability was something that I think that hit everyone hard, especially Ferrari, because of the team even and the drivers, because obviously they have no control over it, and especially Sebastian Vettel was getting very angry because at the summer break he was like, I'm questioning my own future. But then obviously Kimi Raikkonen was questioning his own future, but more so he was questioning as the team were questioning. And as JD said on many other videos, like we did Force India yesterday, he said obviously Sergio Perez, a good drive from him, but a questionable, obviously Kimi Raikkonen was questioning his position in Formula 1, so were the team, and thinking, do we really need Kimi in for another season, another average season? I mean, Sebastian won in 2015 3 times, and Kimi didn't. Do we really need this headache on the team? So obviously, that's the thing. Obviously, was Kimi Raikkonen going to stay in Ferrari? Both drivers were questioning their future, though. Self-doubt came into it, and obviously that's not what, especially not what Sebastian Vettel wants. He is the 4-time world champion, goddammit. He wants to be, in a 4-time world champion's deserving car. He wants to be at the front. Obviously, in 2014, we didn't see a Sebastian Vettel meltdown. Obviously, as 4 times with Red Bull. 2014 didn't win the world championship. We thought he would go mental. He didn't really. He did kind of handle the pressure quite well. He was happy about going to Ferrari, but as I say, he was very, very calm and cool and collective. And I liked that about Sebastian. I was like, you go. Like, you're doing well. I'm really, respecting you for that. But was Sebastian Vettel was getting quite annoyed about this season. What was happening? Where was he gonna go anywhere? But was he gonna stay with Ferrari? There was even talk about him going back to his old team of Red Bull Racing. But obviously, so Sebastian Vettel rolled it in the second part of the season, come on, we need a good result. Come on, boys. You are.
Come on, lads.
You are Ferrari. You are Ferrari. Yeah. You are the longest serving team.
You are the bomb.
Come on, just do it, guys. You've done it many times. You did it with Schumacher. You've done it with unbelievable drivers in the past. Why can't you do it with me? Anyway, so they rolled into the second part of the season. Obviously, they kicked off in Spa. Obviously, what could they do in Spa? A track that, especially Kimi Raikkonen, loves so much. Again, they rolled into that with a 6th place finish by Sebastian Vettel and a 9th place finish by Kimi Raikkonen. In Italy, the next round was really very special for them because Kimi Raikkonen got a 4th place just outside the podium. You might think it was disappointing, but obviously they had a Ferrari driver on the podium, which was absolutely amazing. Now, if you're not wearing red in Italy, you get a good turnout, but not as great as if you are in red. You might get a few boos, and also as well, it was special for Sebastian Vettel because obviously he got his very first win here in 2008 with Toro Rosso, and obviously if you remember, they're an Italian team, so really Sebastian Vettel loves the Tifosi, and the Tifosi loves Sebastian Vettel, and obviously it would be unbelievable to see if he does that next year, or obviously, because obviously me and JT have plans to go, so that would be absolutely unbelievable. That scene would have been unbelievable. Just cast your minds, if you want to compare, just cast your minds to when Fernando Alonso was there, obviously in 2012, when he did that camera shot, of everyone there.
Oh, that was amazing.
Obviously, in the days of Barrichello and Schumi, and obviously absolutely unbelievable scenery if you're in red. So obviously that was absolutely great from Sebastian Vettel. So he rolled into the night races, the Singapore Grand Prix, which again Sebastian Vettel loves so much. He's a multiple winner here. 5th place from him and a 4th place for Kimi Raikkonen. The next round in Malaysia, which is a funny race for Sebastian Vettel because 2 words kind of come into my mind and everyone's mind is multi-21. Multi-21 anyone? Well, multi-21 might have been the case, but it was a multi-5th position. It was a multi-retirement for Sebastian Vettel in Malaysia, and it was a multi-4th place for Kimi. I don't know where that comes into it, but there was a multi-4th place.
Oh
for
dear!
Kimi
You get everything here on the F1 Debate Show.
The puns are just rolling in, man, so fast.
Bang. One after another.
They are coming at you in shots, man. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable from them. Anyway, so we rolled into Japan. Obviously, a 4th place for Sebastian Vettel and a 5th place for Kimi Raikkonen. And that was the same position, 4th place for Sebastian Vettel in the United States. But unfortunately, it was a retirement for Kimi Raikkonen in the States. It was unfortunate for him. Obviously, he was getting more of the blow this season, but a very strong position because obviously, since the British Grand Prix till this point, the Japanese Grand Prix, he'd scored points in every single race. So he retired in the USA, and then he came in a 6th place in Mexico when his teammate Sebastian Vettel had a 5th. Then it was a 5th place again for Sebastian Vettel in Brazil, and a spectacular retirement in Brazil for Kimi Raikkonen. Obviously he was going across the track. That was just aquaplaning, a bit like Sebastian Vettel going off at Abbey. It was just absolutely unbelievable, just one of those stupid, ridiculous things out of nobody's error. And then obviously in the last race, Sebastian Vettel got on the podium, obviously the bottom step, watching the two Mercedes drivers, fake shake, and then obviously Kimi Raikkonen finishes in 6th position. So there we go, there is the season done and dusted for Ferrari. It's been obviously very up and down, but the second part of the season I am very much loving it. Obviously Sebastian Vettel's highest position, 2nd place, which he did on 3 occasions. They didn't happen in the second part of the season, but it was very good, very fluctuating. 2 times on the podium for Sebastian Vettel, 0 times for Kimi Raikkonen, but again, very, 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 very good progress. And as I say, Kimi Raikkonen doing very well in that. Obviously, as I said, from the British Grand Prix to the Japanese Grand Prix, he scored points in every single round. Unfortunately, a retirement, but if they never happened, again, one was car reliability, one was just aquaplane, but if that never happened, it would have gone all the way to Mexico. So, Ferrari, strong season, but obviously, like Williams, as you said, if you keep saying it over and over again, 3rd place is not where they want to be. They want to be in, well, obviously they would want to be in 2nd place, best of the rest. They'd want to be in 1st place, obviously, but obviously that would never ever happen. Obviously Mercedes taking the championship like a month before the season ended was unbelievable, but a 2nd place was what Ferrari wanted to chase down, and they were very, very close in doing it. But it was about 4 rounds to go when that dream just became that reality became a dream. That became a pipe dream, and then that became something that would never ever ever happen. The only chance that would happen is if Red Bull had some terrible weekends, but obviously Ferrari would never catch Red Bull, but that was their aim. But it was good for Ferrari on that side, so obviously your podium position was good, at least it didn't get caught by anyone else, but it was also good for the drivers' side, because obviously Sebastian Vettel became very happy with the car. He still wants to be in a winning position, so obviously again he is thinking now, what am I doing? But obviously compare that to the first part of the summer break, compare that to then, he's happier, you know what I mean? Because obviously in the first part of the season, he was thinking, I tell you what, why don't I try Manor down the road? They might even give me a strong car. Anything's better than Ferrari. Come on, guys. Just get me out of this. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Sebastian Vettel edition, because that really was. He was in the summer break, and just get me out of here. Just get me out of this red car. I don't want it. I want to go back to Red Bull or something like that. Kimi Raikkonen, again, was very sceptical, but now he's very much safe and is going to be, hopefully, on the grid. He will be on the grid, with Ferrari. So obviously he's very much happy with the team. He's going to stay with them in 2017 and be the oldest driver in Formula 1, obviously now that Jenson Button and Felipe Massa have left. So Sebastian Vettel, quite happy. Kimi Raikkonen, very happy. Obviously, again, a very strong year that he's had for a good few years now, being in the shadow of different drivers. Obviously, Sebastian Vettel has been, as I said, 3 wins last year for Seb, 0 for Kimi. So he's done pretty well here. Obviously 3 second place finishes, and if I'm trying to count them, 6 on the podium. So obviously that was good for him. 2 times second place and 4 times on the podium for Kimi Raikkonen. So obviously he was very strong from him. Car reliability problems. So the grades, okay, now again they've got to very much fluctuate, so I'm going to give the car overall a C. So again, just middle of the road, keeping it safe. Ferrari, they can improve, they can slip. This year has been a bit of a slip from them, so maybe it would maybe a little minor symbol next to it, but obviously again as a springboard for next season they need to get back on top. Kimi Raikkonen as a driver, I would say that his effort, I'd say it was probably about a C going into a D in the first part of the season, but I'd say the second part went to about a B, close to an A, because obviously he turned it on very much so, especially when he got happy with the car as well, and it was around Silverstone time. Kimi Raikkonen was, his contract rumours were staying with Ferrari. Well, they weren't really, they didn't even become rumours, they were like, I'm staying with Ferrari now, but media in F1 Derecho, get it out of your head that I'm going to be kicked out of Formula 1 by some of these new guys who are going to fill me seats, like Sergio Perez. And then Sebastian Vettel, obviously, first part of the season was good, second part of the season again was good by him, but it was all good, but it was no show at the end of the day. As JT said, the big thing that he missed is the race win. So again with Sebastian Vettel, I'm going to say a C, so a C across the board for Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen and the team. A C good, some good parts, some bad parts, but hopefully a progressive season to go into next season. So JT, I mean, obviously Ferrari, longest serving team in Formula One,
yes.
the team that should be on top. We it's almost Formula One fans are used to seeing Ferrari now on top. Sometimes when we say Ferrari at the back, what? It's almost like a mistake.
Yeah.
So how did you see the 2016 season pan out? Obviously, as I say, leaving 2015 with 3 wins.
Yeah. Very disappointing that it was a winless season for Ferrari, the second in 3 years. So for a team like Ferrari, that fact alone isn't good enough. However, there was like moments in the season where it did show that Ferrari could have went on to win a race. You know what I mean? Like P2s and P3s. The car was reliable at some stages as well. To be fair, as I said, really, it was the strategy team. Obviously, but we don't want to take digs at anybody because this is the end of the season. It's Christmas. We're supposed to be happy, but we are reviewing the season, and we've got to be honest. We do want to be honest, and everyone believes that the strategy team did kind of hinder Ferrari's chances of getting more podiums, more results, and even better a race win. So up until Abu Dhabi, when they got their strategy spot on, so better late than never, as they say. But that's the way Formula One is. But overall, as I said, disappointment that they didn't get a win. But I wouldn't say for any Ferrari fans out there, I wouldn't kick yourselves too much yet. It was a positive season in my eyes. It could have been worse. You've had worse seasons, but you've definitely had better seasons. So grade wise, I'm going to give Sebastian Vettel effort a B, performance a B. Good season by him. Unfortunately, yes, no race wins, but he did well in some races, getting some podiums out there, challenging the Red Bull in the first part. The second part, he did kind of fall away from that as Red Bull sort of progressed on, but still, Sebastian Vettel is a great driver. Kimi Räikkönen performance, I'll probably give him a C. Effort, I'll probably give him a B, I would say, because he did prove some critics wrong. There were some doubters where it was like, oh, is he too old? He shouldn't have signed another contract with Ferrari for next season. He should be going. But he's still a clever driver. He's still very, very intelligent. I mean, like that was when like Massa, Alonso, Button, obviously were all in. In Formula One, again, they were getting stick. Now Alonso will be getting stick. Oh, you're too old and everything like that. It doesn't matter how old you are. Some of the young guns coming in might not be, as good as what Kim Räikkönen is, because he's got experience, and that's what Ferrari might need to help them go on to better things. But I think this will be Kimi Räikkönen's last season in Formula One. I am expecting a retirement, obviously not like Nico Rosberg's retirement where it came out of the blue. I am expecting one this season to say from Kimi Räikkönen, right, that's it, I'm hanging up my helmet for this season. It should be this season. If he's got any sense and he's got any knowledge, he should step back and let someone else have that seat at Ferrari alongside Sebastian Vettel. Ferrari as a whole, I'm going to give them an effort, a C. Performance, I'll probably C minus because of the strategy team. No offense, strategy team. You did a good job in Abu Dhabi, but apart from that, you did kind of. I'm not saying all the blame is on the strategy team. I'm just saying that is the obvious sign that Ferrari didn't win a race because the strategy didn't really work in races. Maybe the car let them down, like obviously in Bahrain they never started. In Austria, Sebastian Vettel had a massive blowout, so races like that, they could have had a good shout. In Abu Dhabi, he did have a good chance of winning the race. Obviously that is another story to go on about. We did explain that a few weeks ago, so obviously make sure you check that one out. So yes, I think Ferrari as a whole, 2016, it's not one to remember, it's not going to be one to forget. It's one of the seasons where we'll go, 2016, it could have been good, it could have been bad. 2017, however, I do hope Ferrari can go back to their old ways, go back to where they want to work, win races, win constructors, and I'm pretty sure that these two drivers can deliver next season when the rules do change. So anyway guys, we're going to wrap up this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, don't forget to check out yesterday's video when we did Force India. And don't forget to check out tomorrow's video where we do second place Red Bull. Very interesting to see how their season went. We all know how that went. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.
See you tomorrow guys.